Chapter 4. On the birth of the Vasus. Suta said, upon King Pratipa ascending to the heavens, the truly heroic King Shantanu went out hunting tigers and other forest animals. One day, while roaming through the wilderness on the banks of the Ganges, he saw a fawn-eyed, well-adorned and beautiful woman. No sooner had King Shantanu laid eyes upon her that he became captivated and thought within himself, "Certainly my father spoke of this beautiful-faced woman, who appears like a second Lakshmi endowed with beauty and youth." The king could not remain satisfied merely by gazing at her lotus-like face. The hair on his body stood on end, and his heart was deeply drawn to her. Ganga Devi too recognized him as King Mahabhisha, and in turn became deeply attached to him. She then walked toward the king smiling. Seeing the blue-complexioned lady glancing at him askance, the king became exceedingly delighted. He consoled her with sweet words and said, "O most beautiful one, are you a Devi, a Manushi, human, a Gandharvi, a Yakshi, a daughter of the Nagas, serpents, or a celestial nymph? Whoever you may be, O lovely one, be my wife. Your smile, it seems, is brimming with love. So become my lawful wife today." Suta said. King Shantanu could not recognize that the lady was none other than Ganga, but Ganga, knowing him to be King Mahabhisha, now born as Shantanu, recognized him. Hearing the king's words, Ganga, recalling her previous affection for him, smiled and spoke, "O king, I know that you are the son of King Pratipa. Behold, though it is inevitable that every woman will find a husband, who is that beautiful lady who does not wish to marry according to her own choice and qualifications? But I shall take you as my husband if you agree to a certain promise. Hear my conditions, then I will marry you." Ganga Devi then said, "O king, whatever I do, whether good or bad, auspicious or inauspicious, you must not hinder or interrupt me, nor ever say that it is not to your liking or satisfaction. Whenever you break this promise of mine, I will instantly leave you and go to another place wherever I wish." King Shantanu then said, "Well, so be it." He promised as she requested. Then Ganga Devi, remembering the words of the Vasus, thought of her past attachment to King Mahabhisha and accepted Shantanu as her husband. Thus married to King Shantanu, the beautiful Ganga in human form went to his abode. The king, having gained her as his wife, delighted in her company and spent time with her in pleasant gardens. The lady too reciprocated his feelings and served him with utmost devotion and affection. Thus many years passed in joyous love and companionship between the couple, who looked like Indra and his consort Shachi. They did not realize how time flew by. The clever king, well versed in the art of love, and Ganga, endowed with all divine qualities, continued their blissful union like Lakshmi and Narayana in their celestial abode. After many years, the lovely-eyed Ganga became pregnant with King Shantanu's child and in due time gave birth to a son who was a Vasu. No sooner was the son born, Ganga Devi threw him into the waters of the Ganges. Similarly, she cast the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh sons successively into the waters. The king, now deeply anxious, thought to himself, "What am I to do now? How will my lineage be preserved? This wife of mine, the very embodiment of cruelty, has slain my 7 sons. If I stop her now, she will instantly leave me and go away. This is now her 8th pregnancy, which I have long desired. If I do not intervene, she will surely throw the son into the Ganges as well. Whether another son will be born to me is uncertain, and even if one is born, there is no guarantee that she will preserve him. What am I to do in this predicament? However, I must do my utmost to continue my family lineage." Now in due time, the Vasu who had stolen Vasistha's cow Nandini, under the influence of his wife, was born as the 8th son of Ganga Devi. King Shantanu, upon seeing the newborn son, fell at Ganga's feet and pleaded, "O slender-bodied woman, I implore you to spare my life today. I beg you, please nurture this one son of mine. O beautiful one, you have killed one after another my 7 exceedingly beautiful sons. O one with beautiful hips, I now fall at your feet. O beautiful one, save the life of this child of mine. If you ask anything else of me today, even if it be something very rare, I shall grant it to you. But I beg you, please preserve the lineage of my family." The Pandits, well versed in the Vedas, say that one who has no offspring cannot attain heaven. So, O beautiful one, today I plead with you, spare the life of this my 8th son. Although Shantanu spoke thus, Ganga Devi was still eager to take the child and throw him into the waters. Seeing this, the king became deeply sorrowful and angrily spoke out, "O vile and wicked woman, what are you doing? Do you not fear hell? Of what villain are you the daughter, that you constantly commit this sinful act? O sinner, go wherever you please, or remain here if you wish. It matters little to me, but my son shall stay here. When you seek to bring my lineage to extinction, what use is there in continuing to live with you?" Hearing the king speak thus as she was about to take the child away, Ganga responded angrily, "O king, since you have broken your promise to me, my word is now void, and my bond with you ends today. Therefore, I shall take this child to the forest, where I shall nurture him. I am Ganga, I have come here to fulfill God's will. The high-souled Vasistha once cursed the 8 Vasus. You shall be born as men." Hearing this, they became exceedingly distressed. Upon seeing me, they prayed, "O sinless one, may you be our mother." O best of kings, I granted them what they desired, and for the purpose of fulfilling God's will, I became your wife. Know this as the truth of my past. The 7 Vasus have already been born and have been freed. Now, this is the last Vasu, and he shall remain on earth for some time as your son. O Shantanu, take this son, whom I, Ganga, offer to you. Know that he is no ordinary child, he is a Deva Vasu. Rejoice in the joy of having a son. O highly fortunate one, this son will be renowned by the name Gangaya, Ganga's son, and will be the most powerful of all. O king, today, I shall take him to the place where I first chose you as my husband. I shall raise him, and when he attains youth, I will return him to you. For this son, if deprived of his mother, will neither be happy nor will he survive." Thus saying, Ganga vanished with the son, leaving King Shantanu deeply sorrowful. He spent his days in his palace, constantly thinking of his wife and son, and governed his kingdom with a heavy heart. Some time passed when, on one occasion, King Shantanu went hunting. He killed buffaloes, boars, and other wild animals with his arrows, and eventually arrived at the banks of the Ganges. There, he saw with great wonder a boy playing with a great bow, shooting arrows one after another with astonishing skill. The king's attention was drawn to the boy, but it never crossed his mind that he might be his own son. Observing the boy's extraordinary feats, his agility in shooting arrows with unmatched ease and speed, his unparalleled mastery of archery, and his strikingly handsome form, as if he were Cupid himself, the king was greatly astonished. He approached and asked him, "O sinless one, whose son are you?" The heroic boy did not reply, but continued shooting his arrows before eventually departing. The king thought to himself, "Who is this boy? Whose son is he? What should I do now? To whom shall I go for answers?" Thus pondering, he suddenly remembered Ganga and began to recite hymns in her praise. Hearing his invocation, Ganga, in her beautiful divine form, appeared before the king. Upon seeing her, the king asked, "O Ganga, who is this boy that has just left? Will you show him to me once more?" Hearing these words of Shantanu, Ganga replied, "O king of kings, he is your son, he is that 8th Vasu. I have nourished him all this time, and now I return him to you. O Suvrita, this is the great ascetic Gangaya. He is the illustrious scion of your family, and his presence will enhance the glory of your lineage. I have taught him the entire science of archery. This pure son of yours has lived in the hermitage of Vasistha and has become well-versed in all the Vidyas and skilled in all forms of combat. Your son possesses the same knowledge that Jamdagni Parshuram had. So, O king of kings, take your son now and rejoice." Thus saying, Ganga handed over her son to the king and vanished. The king Shantanu, overjoyed, embraced his son, smelled his head affectionately, and took him to his chariot, then drove towards his own city. Upon returning to Hastinpura, the king organized a grand festival, Utsav, in honor of his son's arrival. He summoned all the astrologers and inquired about an auspicious day. Then, gathering all his subjects and ministers, he formally installed Gangaya as the crown prince. The righteous King Shantanu was overjoyed to appoint Gangaya as the crown prince. With this, he forgot the pain of Ganga's departure and felt at peace. Suta said, "Thus, I have described to you the cause of the curse on the Vasus, the birth of Bhishma from the womb of Ganga, and the union of Ganga and Shantanu, among other events. Whoever in this world hears this holy story of Ganga's birth and the birth of the Vasus is freed from all sins and attains mukti, liberation. O Munis, I have narrated these meritorious and sacred accounts as I heard them from the lips of Vyasa. Anyone who listens to the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is endowed with 5 characteristics and filled with various divine anecdotes, as spoken by Vyasa, will have all their sins destroyed and will attain peace and divine blessings. O Munis, thus, this sacred history has been fully recounted to you. Thus ends the 4th chapter on the birth of the Vasus in the Mahapurana Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, consisting of 18,000 verses.